What's up everyone? So we're going to be doing a tutorial on how to get a actual boundary within MapKit or pretty much MKMapView if you're more of a UI kit type of person. And we're going to be using SwiftUI and UIViewRepresentable or mostly UIView to get everything going up. Now a little bit of a backstory about this. I had a little bit of trouble on the application that I'm working on where I wanted to get kind of like a similar thing where if you want to kind of filter through certain areas of the map for specific things, like you might see it in the likes of like Instagram and such, but I needed to make sure it doesn't go out of like an MKCircle, which is a whole other thing I'll kind of explain about. And it was kind of some difficulty trying to get it started, but I think I found a pretty good solution around it. I tried finding some stuff on like Stack Overflow or even YouTube itself, and I couldn't find anything. And today I just want to kind of make a tutorial on how to get this implemented because I had struggled a lot with this, and I just think it'd be best if I could get a tutorial going for anyone else who might be, needing to get this in their application as well. So as you can see, we have the annotation right in the middle of the map between the actual MKCircle and the map itself. And they all have their own, pretty much the same region of the map. So we're going to say if the annotation is long as it's in the circle radius of this map, as long as we're here, we're good. And if we try to take it somewhere out the map, we're going to have an alert. Pick it up again, drag it over here, alert again, pick it up here, take it back in the map, no alert. So this is what we're going to be aiming at. So get Xcode fired up and let's get started. So we're going to go ahead and get this project open, and I'll just call this, boundary circle. Interface with UI, language is always going to be Swift, and not going to use core data or really testing. So we can get right into it. So the first thing we want to do, really out of anything, we want to implement some map kits. So we're going to say import map kits. All right, so we can actually take all of this out, but of course this is a computed property, so it's still expecting some sort of view. All right, so we just threw a VStack in, and usually I like to kind of have code completion go on here, or pretty much cleanliness going on. So I'm gonna make a group for just, I'm gonna say UI kit, or actually I'm gonna just say map kit, because this is mostly gonna be map kit properties. And then we still have the main content view, so we can go right in map kit, create a new file. We could just say MKMapRep. I'm gonna just say that. So first thing, since we're going to be using SwiftUI and UIKit together, we're going to get SwiftUI in, and then we can get MapKit right in as well. So we're going to create a struct, once again called a MKMapRep, and then instead of like a view or like a view UI view controller, we have to make sure that SwiftUI can kind of go with UIKit. So we have to use something called a UI view controller representable, and we can build that. And the first thing Swift is going to do is complain that we don't conform to the protocol, so we have to add the stub, which is just a type alias of what UI view type we're trying to get in. So we're going to say an MKMapView, and as you can see, we already have like almost all the UI kit sort of things within a UI, like a Swift UI type of struct. And then once again, it's going to complain about this. Usually what I usually see is that if it doesn't conform, or if you're trying to get something that doesn't conform to UI view and it gives you another type alias, that means you're doing something incorrectly, or has to be UI view controller. So it's either UI view controller context too, but it's just UI view for now. So as you can see, we're going to build all of this in, and this is pretty much our main code that can get a map view running up. So we can create a instance of a MKMapView either within the make UI view method, or pretty much within the coordinator, which I'll try to explain a little bit about what that is. Let map view equal MKMapView, and then we're just going to immediately return the map view. Hopefully that should be fine. Yep, that's fine. So as far as like a coordinator between where we can kind of see like the Swift UI kind of view, the content view, the main content view, kind of communicate with the actual map view, we can use something called a coordinator, which is pretty much, I would say, really just kind of like observing a class within, Swift UI itself when it's like an observable object. So let's get another thing in here, another Swift file. We're going to make this the view model. That's the word I was trying to say. So we're going to say, let's say map view model, get map kit in, and then we're going to create a final class because we don't exactly want to inherit anything to kind of inherit from this class. And we're just going to say map view model, and then it's going to be of type observable object. And so of course with maps and stuff, even within SwiftUI, they need their own region because they're just going to show like the entire world in a sense. So the region I kind of have set, you can use your own type of area, but I'm going to do Washington, D.C. because that's closest to me. So I need to actually get the coordinates for Washington, D.C., at least the center of it. All right, and then within the actual content view, we're going to actually subscribe to this map view model since it's observable. And when observable, you should publish properties, views, and such with SwiftUI. So we're just going to create a new state object, make it private as always, and then we're just going to say map VM, just kind of make a short abbreviation. So we're going map view model. So it's a new map view model. And then as well for the MKMapRep that we created, we can just create a Z stack here because we got to pass over the actual view model. So we go ahead and make this observe object map model, or was it map VM? I think it was map VM. And then we're going to say of type map view model. And that's going to really help when we have this view connected up with the content view, because now Swift is going to complain. And yeah, just go ahead and pass in that same model we subscribe to at the content view. And once again, the reason we want to be able to kind of see, you know, when stuff happens within this observe object, just because if we create a new instance of it and just return it, it's not going to have the same thing going on with an actual observe object. All right, boom. And then let's try to get this preview going. And once again, like I said, we don't have a region set, so it's going to, see like the middle of like North America. All right, and heading back over to the view model, like I said, published properties really help within this whole observable object. That's another video for another day. So we're just going to create a new published property, publish var. We're going to say map region, MK coordinate region right here. And then MK coordinate region, like I said, is just like where the map will kind of center itself at. And then if the actual kind of zoomed inness of it is going to be either greater or a little bit farther away or a little bit closer. Okay, perfect. So I have pretty much the latitude and longitude for, say, the middle of Washington DC, just a bit, and then the span once again of just, you know, how more zoomed in do we want the map to look. Oh, you know why? Because we didn't set this. That's right. So you have to set the region by going map view that region, and we're going to say context that coordinator, which of course is the map view model, and then say map region. Okay, that's a little bit too further, and so we gotta adjust that. And it could look a little bit better, but you know what, we'll keep with that just for video's sake. All right, and then actually, just so we can start to get things up and going here, we need to be able to make a delegate for the actual MKMapView itself, just so it can kind of communicate changes and stuff within the map. So there's two ways of doing this. You can always kind of conform to the protocol within the class itself, or usually I like to do is extensions of the map view model, and then kind of neatly organize if you have like multiple protocols or multiple delegates kind of conforming to the actual class itself. So we can say an MKMapView delegate. So get that set up, and then we should have some other things. Oh, we got to inherit from NS object, top dog. And now to get the map view to actually communicate with the actual view model, we're going to say map view that delegate, which is the MKMapView delegate. And then we're going to say context.coordinator. All right, and now there's two functions or methods we can get in here from MapView delegate itself to kind of monitor when the map does certain things. So if you remember in the preview that I have at the beginning, when we drag around the annotation, or at least the way I got it, we drag around the annotation and we make sure that the annotation does not go outside the actual circle, the MKCircle itself, which pretty much is an MK overlay. And like I said, that just kind of monitors if the circle distance between the actual annotation is greater than the region of the circle. So two things we want to get going. So we want to get the actual MK overlay going. So we're going to say map view and just kind of look over a couple of these methods because there's a lot of them. So this can be used when we create our annotation that can be dragged around the actual map. And then once the new change or the new state of the annotation has been kind of set, then MapView fires off this, method. Then of course we can try to find the actual trying to find it right here. So we're going to save rendering for and then overlay, and then it's going to return of type MK overlay renderer. So for now we're going to return just a MK overlay renderer, which we'll get into all of that in a bit. And then the overlay will just be the overlay. So actually get this circle going, we need a couple things. So there's multiple ways you can do this. I'm just gonna actually just do this right in the make UIView function right here. So I'm gonna say let circle, which is gonna be the boundary circle, of course, equal MKCircle. Circle dot coordinate is gonna just be the same coordinate we have for the actual map region. So we're gonna just say context dot coordinator. Well, we can do it. I think we can do it multiple ways. So I think we can say MapView.region. Okay, wait a minute. I think I did something wrong here. So we can say MKCircle. Yeah, center is going to be MapView.region.center. Just set it for that for now. And then the radius, that's what we're going to really worry about the most. I'll just make it, I'll try to do like the DMV. So I'll make it, say like 1,000. See how that goes. And then to make sure that the entire circle actually fits within the map view itself. All right, we're going to say map view.set visible mac rect. we're gonna do a couple things. So it's gonna be the circle, that bounding map rect, and then for the actual edges, we gotta make sure that it doesn't get too close to the edge of the actual, phone screen itself. So we can go ahead and I just always do it knit. So you have multiple ways of doing it. So we can knit from the top, left, bottom, or right. So usually I worry about is really just both the left and right sides, and that's usually just an easy 100. Bottom, we'll add 20. Left, once again, we'll do 100, and then top one, and we'll do like 30 maybe. And then animate it, yeah, that's really up to you. Jesus, I just deleted it. Then we're gonna say map view to add overlay, which is gonna be circle. All right, boom, that should be it. All right, now back to our extension where we have a MKMapView delegate. So once again, I was trying to go off of something here, but then I forgot we had to set up the circle first. So we can always look through the overlays and see if the overlay is exactly an MKCircle. So while we're here, we're gonna say if overlay is a MKCircle, let bounding circle, like I said, my naming is really not my thing, equal a MKCircle renderer overlay. Now we can go something just to kind of give it more customization. We can do bound circle, and then we can kind of trade a stroke color, which is the actual entire stroke of the circle, and we can set that to let's have some fun. Let's do like a UI color. I'm gonna do one in the metro line, so we're gonna say UI color that what's a favorite metro line? Do orange. And then we're gonna say bound circle, and we're gonna do bound circle dot fill color, which is the actual fill color inside of the circle. And then we can just do UI color dot orange again. And then we're gonna add a little bit of a opacity to it, so that's gonna be with alpha constraint. And I think for me, I remember it was 0.25 that really worked the best. And easily we could just return bound circle. Now let's see how this looks right now. I think content view sometimes doesn't actually update it, so I might have to run this on the simulator. Perfect. Yep. Boom. As you can see, not exactly where we wanted to go because I don't think we set up something correctly. But yeah, this is our circle, and I think we can actually change around the stroke of it, but I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Why are we at Apple Park? All right, then boom, here's our circle. So as you can see, I kind of adjusted the way the things were looking because OBS was acting weird, and I actually didn't realize I was recording. So here's our new MKCircle that is on the map, and it's orange for the actual orange line in Washington, D.C. And it has, its own alpha component, and the actual binding map rect is kind of properly making sure it can resize the map around the size or the radius of the circle. So now what we need to do is we need to create a custom drag annotation that can conform to MK annotation. So first up, we're going to create a new file, and we're going to call this drag annotation. And I'm going to bring in, I don't want to say UI kit because we're not making any views, so I'm going to just say map kit class drag annotation that conforms to NS object, and then an MK annotation. And the MK annotation, since we're conforming to that, we're going to need one thing, and it's going to say we're going to conform it to it because we don't have the coordinate. All right, so now we can go ahead and create our initializer. So I'm going to go init coordinate, CL location coordinate 2D. For some reason, I always struggle with inherents with classes. So we're going to say self dot coordinate, and that's going to be coordinate, and it should be fine with that. Yep. So we're good with this. And since it's conforms to MK annotation, we can just go ahead and just easily plug this right up with MKMapView. So within here, we already have our circle set up. So we can say, let's drag, I don't want to drag annotation, just going to keep it like that, equal a drag annotation. And the coordinate of it is going to, once again, be the context.coordinator dot map region dot sensor. There's probably a better way of doing that. And after that, we already have everything set up to be in that current region of the map. We have the circle and the annotation. I'm gonna say map view dot add annotation, not add overlay, add annotation, and drag annotation. And that should be good. All right, perfect. And we have the annotation, have the call out, but we can't move it, so we have to set that up. So with the MKMapView, like they all have their own kind of like an array of annotations. As long as they conform to MK annotation, that's pretty much fine by MapKit itself. So the way we can do this is that we can set up an annotation view, and we're gonna go ahead and type out annotation view. That's not it. No, it's a lot of these little things in here. We want one that returns the MK annotation view, and pretty much that's like your own custom MK annotation view that you can, like I said, set up your own way if you want to do it with like UI kit and such. But we're just going to use a MK marker annotation, which is just pretty much this right here. This is a marker annotation. So we're going to say if let and drag annotation equal a annotation typecasted as a drag annotation. And then pretty much from there, we're going to say let marker equal a MKMarker annotation. And as you can see, we got our stuff going on here. And then we're going to say annotation. And of course, the reusable identifier, we're just going to say MKMapView annotation reuse identifier, which I never really knew about before. I just thought about it. We're going to keep this up. We're not going to really say if it is an annotation because I have some other things I want to do with the annotation anyway. So we're just going to say marker dot, it's going to say glyph text. We have plenty of ways we can customize this thing, but we're going to say the marker tint color is that orange, just so we can map the actual circle itself. We're going to say drag annotation. We're going to say its title, which really we have to actually go back in here to the actual drag annotation class and add in its title, which really should just pop in like that. Then now it's going to complain that, well, actually not, because it's optional, but we go ahead and just pass in its title and say that it's a optional string coordinate. Everything's else set up, so we're going to say self dot title equals its string. Well, not string, but title. Turn the actual marker. Then we got to actually set this out here. So we'll just return nil for now, just for now. Drag me, I don't know, right here. So I'm gonna say marker that is draggable, and that's the whole dragging thing on the map. So we're gonna say true, and that's really going to help with the method, well, the actual, you know, extension that we have in here for when a new state of the annotation view change from the old state. And as you can see, we have the title drag me, and if we tap on it, it's orange. And then guess what? We can take this anywhere in here. So we're almost there when it comes around to having to make sure that it's within the circle. All right, so back at the drag annotation. Now the thing is that since we're using just a custom class for drag annotation, we're going to implement our own method within the class that's going to measure out the distance between, like I said, the actual MKCircle's annotation, or pretty much coordinate or sensor, and then compare that to the current sensor of the drag annotation once it changes. So to do this, we're going to go a couple of routes. So first off, we need to have its, I want to call this actual, let's say, location, because it's going to be actual a CL location. And with the CL location, you can measure the distance between two pretty much annotations in a way. And in a way, we're just going to use self that location because we don't always want to use it, and that's just going to be the coordinate dots. I'm actually going to create a new CL location, and then that's going to be latitude, of course, coordinate dot lat, and then coordinate dot long. That should be fine with that. Perfect. And then within this method, within the class drag annotation itself, we're going to go func is out of bounds, and then we're going to return a bool so we can actually do a couple of things after that. All right, so first up, let's create a let's say circle location. I'm really bad with naming here. Is of course a CL location, and of course we're just going to set it up as we just did here. Latitude is circle latitude. Let's say circle that, come on, stop. Circle that coordinate dot longitude, and now we can say return, let's say self dot location dot distance from circle location. If it's greater than we're gonna say circle dot radius. So what's going to happen here is that we're going to use the distance method built in with CL location, and then we're going to of course get the actual parameter or whatever else it needs to get from the actual kind of comparison thing. So if the distance of it is greater than the set radius, which within the map view is 15,000, and I'm gonna show you how we can kick this off as well. So we're gonna do a couple things here. So we're gonna say if let annotate, we're gonna say if let drag annotation actually equals the view dot annotation, and then we're gonna say drag annotation as drag annotation, which really probably could do put in one line, but all right, let's see. I think it's probably complaining about this. Here we go. Yep, I was complaining about that, so that wasn't actually correct. When this changes, we're gonna just say print, let's say this is me. I don't know, kind of a Disney Channel reference. So when this changes, or when the drag state changes to a new state, it should be firing off that print statement. See how it says this is me right in the console. This is me. This is me. And we're going to say let circle equals MapView.overlays. We're going to get the first item in the array. First as a MKCircle. Once again. It should be all good. All right, it's still good. All right. So then within here, we're just going to fire off an actual alert just for now. Whatever else you want to do in here. So we're going to say alert out of bounds is false. All right, perfect. So now let's get this comparison going. So we're going to go alert out of bounds. Actually, I don't know. Let me see. So we're going to do alert out of bounds dot drag annotation dot is out of bounds from circle. Everything is here. We have to drag me annotation. And so if we put it over here, as you can see, we don't have any alert. Everything, as long as it's within this circle right here, we're all good. But now let's say someone takes it right over to Rockville. Okay, that actually should fire. Let's see why it's not doing that. Okay, actually, I see what I did wrong here. So what I actually did wrong was the coordinate for the actual, well, when the coordinate changes for the annotation, the CL location coordinate to the updates. And so when it gets set to a new coordinate, what needs to happen now is that self.location equals the actual CL location of coordinate. So we can take that right out the init body. Remove that, take that out. It's probably gonna complain to me for a minute. Yep. And so what's gonna happen now? I'm just gonna make this, it should be true. It should be true. So yeah. So let's see. Now we try to fire that back. Yep, that was not correct. If let location, so what the location is actually positively whatever, not nil, we can go ahead and fire off everything. So let's see, we can do this again. And then once again, we're just gonna say return false. Try to drag this one more time. All right, so we're not getting any crashes. We're not getting any unexpected nils. So we're in a circle, so that works. And then we go out of it. All right, there we go. All right, we actually removed that breakpoint. And now we got it. There we go. We are out of bounds of the circle. So once again, if we change it anywhere else, well, actually that's an issue. All right, so I'm curious for this MK annotation view.drag state because they have a couple of enums going on here. So we have none, start, dragging, canceling, and ending. So we can see if starting is of course it's not one. Let's see, or it's it's at dot starting. So let's see if we can just kind of print what new state is in. So if it's at 1, so it's dragging now, and then it's at 4, and then it's at none. So if new state is not 1, then we're gonna say new state that raw value. We're just gonna put this in like a not. I'm gonna say not new state dot raw value equals 1. Then of course we can try to set this alert to be correct. Go out of bounds. Still doing it. I want to say if new state equals 4, because that was the ending. I remember that was the ending one. So try to beat it to the punch here. So out of bounds. Then we take it back in. Yep, that does it. Out of bounds again. Pick it up. Still out of bounds. Correct. Okay. Out of bounds. Yep. Once again. Out of bounds. And then once again, I just kind of want to show that this does in fact kind of goes kind of modular around the radius of the circle. So we do a circle size of 250 and then tell MapView to update that. Because remember, the circle size was going outside the bounds of DC. As you can see, now we have it within like the National Museum of Natural History. As long as we're in this circle bounds, if we go outside of it, now it's an issue. And then once again, take it up. Issue again. We try to take it over to 695. Out of bounds. And boom, as you can see, we have our own circle that can kind of measure out where the new annotation is going and then kind of make distance comparisons based between the two. Well, that concludes this tutorial. I don't make tutorials as much as this channel, but I feel like I kind of explored something outside of my boundary a little bit, pun intended. Of course, I'm still learning with iOS development, so if I made any kind of mistakes within the code or mistakes within some of the things that we're saying, once again, the GitHub will be provided in the description below with the actual project itself. So if you need to go in, modify the code, anything, it's pretty much say public, so go ahead and have fun with it. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you got a sense of how MKMapView and MapView delegates goes within SwiftUI and use this sort of example to advantage of maybe some other things I don't know about. So yeah, let me know what you guys do with it, and yeah, that's gonna be it for next time. Peace.